Good morning, everyone. How are you? Hope you're all well. Today we are starting Nedarim. Nedarim is about, I don't know, um, 11 prakim. So it'll take us about a week and a half, maybe just about, whatever, about a week and a half. And here we go. Today's shir is Lili Nishma, Sarah Nachum, and Simcha Cohen, Yishom Morcha, Meshev, Sabracha, Shav, Shmo Leib, Ben Yosef, made the Nishma, to have an Aliyah, before Shlem, before Yisrael, Ben Rachel, Leah, Rachel, Bas Bas Zelda, Rachel, Eliana, Bas Yal, Bracha, Avin Yisach, Ben Risha, Chai, Bas Bela, before Shlem, Besok, Shechal, Yisrael, and Shefer, Bracha, Vaslachat, for Sinach, Ben Bracha, Rachel, Leah, and Shmuel, David, Ben Henda, Miriam, for Zivig, Karov. And a special shout out to our dear friends at the Imperial Advisory Group. They're experts at CFO matters. If you need help with your CFO stuff, reach out to them at imperialgrp.com. Okay, starting the Dharm today, Perek Aleph, Mishnah Aleph. So a neder, the plural is Nedarim, is a statement through which a person makes something forbidden to himself or others. There are two ways in which a neder can be expressed. One is you can simply declare an item usher, for example, this bread is forbidden to me, or you can link it to something else that's usher, that becomes usher. For example, this bread is like a korban to me. um, The second method is it only works if the item that's being ushered is linked to something that was previously permitted and became ushered by a person's declaration. So a korban, for example, is 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 an, is an example of this because an animal becomes a korban when someone declares it to be so. So the animal was an animal; it was mutter to everybody. And then he said that this is a korban, whether this is a toad or shlem, whatever it is. Um, that's example of case number two. Um, so ko kinui nedarim kinedarim. All substitute words in nedarim are as effective as the basic words in nedarim, because there's alternate words. V'charamim kecharamim, and all substitute words for charamim are as effective as the basic terms for charamim. If you um, so we should probably I kind of skipped the intro because for lack of time, but we're gonna learn what all these things are. If you remember, like by Kol Nidri, we say Kol Nidri on your Kippur night, it talks about all the different types of Nedarim and Echaranim and shvuos and all these wonderful different Nazirus and everything else. Also, you have that by a Tos Nedarim and Rosh Hashanah. So we're going to learn a lot about that during this Masechta. So, and shvuas keshvuas, and all substitute words for shavuos are as effective as the basic term for shvuas. So a shvua, so a cherek is something that is donated to the base of this treasury. We say that this object is cherek. It becomes a property of the mikdash, and it's us to have any personal benefit. Um, it's funny because you also had they putting a guy into cherem because he's being like he's ostracized from the community. That's a different cherem than what we're talking about over here. Why the same word for both situations? I'm not really sure. And a shvua is is a promise that it is a statement or a promise about an action. Whereas a neder is on an item, but a shvua is on an action. Um, Naziris can Naziris, and all substitute words for Naziris are as effective as the basic terms for Naziris. Okay, So, if a person says to his fellow, I have vowed from you, or he says, I am separated from you, or excuse me, or I am distanced from you. And after one of these three phases, he says that I will not eat with that which is yours, or that I will not taste that which is yours. Meaning that he says that I am vowed from you that I will not eat that which is yours. So usher, so the other person's food is usher to him. Because even these incomplete statements are considered to be nedarim, even though he didn't say the word neder itself. Another case, menuda anilach, regarding a person who says, I am menuda from you, that I will not eat that which is yours. Rabbi Akiva haya chovech bazel hachmer. Chochech bazel hachmer. Rabbi Akiva would just rub his lips together and not actually say whether it is valid neder or not, but his gesture implied that he wished to rule stringently and considered it a valid, valid neder. So we continue. If someone says, like the Nedarim of the wicked, I am hereby a Nazir, or like the Nedarim of the wicked, I will bring a Korban, or like the Nedarim of the wicked, I will not eat this loaf of bread. Not the Nazir with a Korban of a shvua. He has effectively taken a vow to be a Nazir or to be a Korban, or he has made a shvua not to eat the loaf of bread. The words like the Nedarim of the wicked have no effect on his neder. He presumably added to them to only to embellish the statement, drawing upon the fact that wicked people tend to vow and swear without any regard whatsoever. Kenidre kisharim. On the other hand, if he said, like the Nedarim of the righteous, I am hereby a Nazir, or he says, I will bring a korban, or I will not eat this loaf of bread, lo amar klum. He hasn't said anything. Because since righteous people generally do not vow or swear, his words, like the Nedarim of the righteous, imply they did not intend to make a commitment of this type, because righteous people don't make these Nedarim, all the Rishonim do. However, if you said, like the Douglas of the righteous, I am hereby a Nazir, or I'll bring a korban, or I'll eat this loaf of bread, Nader ben Nazir of a korban. He has effectively taken a vow to be a Nazir or to bring a korban, but he has not made a valid shvua. Therefore, he is not forbidden to eat the bread. Well, because when a righteous person accepts upon himself to be a Nazir or to bring a korban, this commitment can be described as a nedava, but not a neder. Therefore, the person who adds like the nedavos of the righteous has indeed accepted upon himself to be a nazir or to bring a korban. However, the shvua is not kosher because a righteous person never makes a shvua at all. Okay, Mishnah Beis. Ha'omar lechaveru konam konach konas. If a person says to another, this loaf of bread is like a konam to you, or like a konach to you, or like a konas to you. All right, elu kinuyim lekorban. These are substitute words for korban, and therefore the neder is effective, and the loaf becomes aser. Regarding kinuyim and a cherek designation, cherek, cheref. If one says to another, this loaf of mine is cherek to you, or cherech to you, or cheref to you, hare el kinuyin lecherem. These are substitute words for cherem. And regarding kinuyim of Naziris, nazik, nazich, and hazich, pazich. If someone says to you, I am a nazik, or a naziach, or a paziach, They are substitute words for nazir and can be used to accept a nazirus. Shvusa shakuka. Now we're talking about a shvua. Someone says, I make a shvusa that I will not eat this loaf, or I make a shakuka that I will not eat this loaf. Neder Musa, or he swears by using the term mosa, that I will make a mosa that I will not eat this loaf. These are substitute words for a shvua. Shavusa and shakuka mean oath in foreign languages. Mosa is an alternative word. They both come from Aramaic, pretty much. Okay, it's a whole different world than ksubas. All right. Okay, Mishnah Gimel. Okay. Haomer lo chulin lo achalach. One person says to another, not chulin, I will not eat that which is yours, which is understood to mean your food is not chulin, rather it is kadosh, therefore I will not eat it. Lo kasher, lo dechi. Or if he said not kosher fit, or not dechi, which is permitted. Tahor, or this is not tahor, not pure. But tame nosar a figgle, or tame or nosar or piggle. Okay, tame is impure, nosar is left over, and piggle was prohibited by a disqualifying thought. He had a bad intention. Asr, in all of these cases, the other person's food becomes asr to him, since these terms are used in connection with karbanos. The person presumably means to link the food to a korban, and therefore his neder is kosher. Imra, if someone says that which I eat of yours is like the lamb, which presumably refers to the korban of a lamb, kadirim, or like the enclosures, which presumably refers either to the chamber in the Beis Hamikdash where the firewood was stored, or to the chamber in which the sheep that were used for kabbalas were kept. Excuse me, which was funded from the Machzis a shekel from other time. K'etzim, or like the logs, which presumably refers to the logs of wood that were arranged on the mizbeach in the mikdash. Ke'ishim, or like the fires, which refers to the actual kabbalas that were placed on the fires on the mizbeach. K'mizbeach, or like the altar, which presumably refers to kabbalas that were burned on the mizbeach. Keheichel, or he said like the eichel, like the sanctuary, which refers to the avodas that were done in the actual heichel. Ki Yerushalayim, or like Yerushalayim, which refers to the kabbalas that were offered in the mikdash in Yerushalayim. Nadar be'echem mikol mishpashem mizbech, or if he vowed, referring to any of the accessories of the mizbech, meaning the forks that were used to turn over the basar kodesh, the bowls that were used to receive the blood, and the shovels to take the ashes off the mizbeach. His korban. In all of these cases, even though he did not mention a korban explicitly, neder korban. It is as if he vowed with a reference to a korban, and the vow takes effect. Rabbi Yehuda says, "Homer Yerushalayim lo amar klum." If he says Yerushalayim, I will not eat that which is yours, he has not said anything without the word like, which links the object of the neder to Yerushalayim. The neder is possible. Okay, and the last mission for today, Mishnah Dalet. Homer Korban Ola Mincha Chatas Toda Shlamim Sheini Ochel Aser. If a person says to another a Korban Ola or a Mincha or a Chatas or a Toda or a Shlamim, and adds, I will not eat that which is yours, he has made a valid neder, and the other person's food is usher, even though he did not add like by saying that a korban, by saying like a korban ola, and therefore he did not explicitly link the food to one of these korbanos. The words he did say suffice to show that he intended to link them. Rabbi Yehuda disagrees, and he says, and it was the food is mutter because the neder did not include like. Um, HaKorban, Korban, Korban Sh'achal Lach Aser. Whether he said the Korban or like the Korban or simply a Korban, and then he added, is that which I eat of yours, meaning that the Korban is that which I eat of yours. He has made a valid neder, and the other person's food is usher to him. So either he explicitly compared it to an offering, or it is clear that he intended to do so. And finally, the korban lo achlach. If a person says to another one, to the korban, I will not eat that which is yours. Rabbi Meir oser. Rabbi Meir asks him to eat the food because it's as if he said, your food will be as though it were designated to a korban, and therefore I will not eat it. Now, returning to one other topic quickly, according to Torah law, a neder works only if it's directed at something tangible such as food. So now we're going to learn how is it possible to use a neder to answer something that is not tangible, such as speech or an action. So Omer lechavero konam pm daber imach yadi ose imach ragle mahachus imach aser. If one person says to another, konam, in my mouth as regards talking to you, or konam my hand as regards working for you, or konam my feet as regards walking with you. He is usher to do any of these activities because the neder is kosher d'oraisa, because it applies to something tangible, meaning his mouth, his hands, his feet, whereas the action, talking, working, and walking, which is intangible, is usher only as a result. Okay, that's all for today. We'll see you tomorrow for Perek Bays. Have a wonderful day.